So guys, this video is going to be a little bit different. It's not my usual SMMA video. So I'm going to be taking you guys on a journey with me. I have launched an info product for those who don't know. And for those who don't know who I am, my name is Jimmy. Everyone calls me Uncle Jimmy. And I've been running my marketing agency, My Online Guy, for 8.5 years now. And in that time, I've learned a lot about running a marketing agency, obviously. And I get asked all the freaking time, how do I go about it? And for years and years, I've hesitated about building an info product to help people because it's not my lane. My lane, I'm an operator. I run my agency and I still run my agency to this day. But I decided that it's got to happen. And some of you may know that I've already done that already. But I thought what would be really cool is that this is all uncharted territory for me. I've never made an info product. I've never made a community before. I've never grown a info product. I'm a marketing agency owner at the end of the day. So I thought, why not take you guys along for the journey and why not take you guys along for the ride? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be vlogging the journey. I'm going to be talking about my experience growing this thing from zero. Because a lot of people out there show the end result. A lot of them show how I made $28 million in 10 months or whatever their pitch to get you to watch the video is. But not many people show the inside lane. And it's one of the things I wish I'd done when I started my agency is like took people on the journey with me to show them the growth, to show them how I got to where I was. So that's what this series is going to be about. I'm most likely going to be doing a video once or twice a week. And it's going to be very raw thoughts about how I'm doing this, the strategies I'm using, and what I'm doing to turn this into the best damn product on operations and service delivery there is going to be in the SMMA space. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if that's something you're interested in watching. So let me give you a little bit of background on the program. It's already in the early stages, so this is a bit of a recap. I'm going to be doing recaps until I catch up to where I am today. But this is a little bit of a recap on the program, my thoughts on it, what it's going to be, and how it's coming together. Like I said, I get asked all the time about building a course on running an agency properly. I've been running my agency for a very long time, and I've learned a lot about running it like a business. And it's the biggest thing I see in this space is that a lot of people are running their marketing agencies like a business. They're running it as a glorified freelancer. And I do a lot of coaching, and I see that a lot in my coaching. But I've always subscribed to like sticking to my lane. I'm an agency owner first and everything else second. I run my marketing agency first and everything else second. And I always thought in my head that if I go and launch an info product, it just dilutes that brand. It just dilutes the fact that I'm an agency owner. I like the idea of walking into a room and saying, I grew my marketing agency to 7 figures and I still run it to this day. I've been thinking about doing this for a long time, but there was just not the right time. You know, between running my agency and the logistics of doing that, it just was never the right time. Until recently, until I really got the agency to the point where it only requires a couple of hours a day for me to run. Then I started getting more free time on my hands and I started looking for things to do. Now, I looked at several things to do. I looked at maybe potentially buying another business. I looked at buying a brick and mortar business and growing that. And then as I started to develop a profile for coaching, people kept asking me, people kept wanting one-on-one consultations. And I kept saying the same thing in this. And I just decided that it was the right time now to potentially start exploring the idea of building an info product around operations and scaling and service delivery within a marketing agency, because I do think I have a genuine position that is different to a lot of people. I've got a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience that is hard to replicate. So, like anything new, I sat and procrastinated, for lack of a better word, for about 6 months, going, do I really want to do this? I don't know if I'm the right person to be teaching this stuff. I don't know if I can even do it. I don't know what I'd say in the course. Basically just sitting on my hands and procrastinating because I knew I was going to be in for a lot of pain coming forward by doing something that I don't know how to do. You gotta remember, with running a marketing agency for as long as I have, there's no pain involved. It's all solved. I just run it and it brings in money and that's how I go about my day. But I really had to mentally say to myself, am I ready for this? Am I ready for the pain that's involved with growing something brand new that I don't know how to do? So I made that decision I was going to do it. It was about 3 months ago. And then I started on the journey. So I knew that I wanted to do this my way, right? I didn't want to just spam the market that I was doing this because I really want a certain type of person. You know, like I'm at the point in my career where I don't want to have to deal with people I don't want to deal with. So there was a specific person in my head that I really wanted to deal with when it came to this product. If I'm going to be spending a disproportionate amount of time with these people, I wanted to make sure it was the right type of person. So what I did is I started a free group, which is called Service Delivery Kings. Some of you will know that group. And if you're interested in that, go to the description below. And I said, I'm just going to test the waters by building a free group and see if I actually want to do this. So I started my free group and I started seeing the questions I'm getting in there, and I started seeing how well people responded to just a free group. And I thought, okay, maybe I actually need to do this because clearly there's gaps in people's knowledge that I can help with. Because what I was finding in the group is that the questions people were asking were based on a lack of guidance on how to do this stuff properly. So really that was my test bed. And then I basically made the decision to do it. Now, the challenge for me was deciding whether I build this thing first and then sell it, or try and pre-sell it. And I had hesitations about pre-selling a course because I don't like the idea of selling something that doesn't exist. So I sat on my hands because that's what I do when I don't know what decision to make. I sit on my hands. I think about it, right? I'm sitting in a room, going like this. So I thought about it. And I sort of said to myself, the only way I'm going to be able to do a pre-sell of what I do is if I still provide a heap of value up front. So the traditional, from my understanding, the traditional way to go about this is to pre-sell the idea and then build it and then release it, give people a discount. But again, I didn't like the idea of doing that. So what I did is I designed an offer around providing as much value as I could while I was simultaneously building this. And that's where we landed on today with the current Guild offer, which is effectively 4 coaching calls a week. It's, basically one-on-one access to me for a lot of these guys, which obviously doesn't make me any money, but it does provide a lot of value. There's accountability. And then I'm just releasing the course as I build it. And I put that in the market, and there was a good response to that. There was a lot of people who were willing to invest their trust in the fact that they knew that, a lot of people that I've known over the years that knew I've been running an agency for a long time, who were just waiting for me to do something like this. So they put their faith in my ability to get this done, and they signed up for my pre-launch. And that's where I am at the moment. Is the current state of play is I'm done the pre-launch, and I'm now elbow deep into building the course. So that's a bit of a recap. In the next couple of videos, I'm going to go into the nuts and bolts of how I went about it, because I think I ended up doing a pretty good job, to be completely fair. I got 35 people to sign up for my pre-launch, and the program is at the moment, because it's a pre-offer, is $1,795, and I got 35 people to sign up. So I was pretty happy with that outcome. Obviously, I'm working very hard to provide value in that group, and I spoke in a previous video how one person left, and that really upset me because of how much value I'm providing. And I would argue that the way I'm doing it now is not sustainable long-term, but I do believe these guys have putting their faith in me. They should be rewarded for that. But I'm going to talk more about that in a future video. I just wanted to catch everyone up, give everyone the recap, the primer on what's happening in the journey so far, because now I can just cover off a little bit about how I'm going about things, what I'm doing, and what I'm going to be doing to make the best course on the planet when it comes to operations and service delivery. Because I do think there's a gap in the market for that. And I do think that it's something that needs to happen. I'm still battling, I'm still struggling with the whole imposter syndrome side of this. I don't know if I'm the right person to be giving this information. All I can say is that I have a lot of experience, and I have a lot of processes, and I have a lot of things that got me to this point. But what I'm finding right now is that it's kind of a scary situation for me, because a lot of the things I talk about are so different that I'm finding, just because I've got a pretty diverse group of people, a lot of the paradigms that I have when it came to running my agency are so different to how people are taught by others. So it's kind of scaring me a little bit, because I don't actually know if the way I did it is the right way to do it. Yes, it got me to 7 figures, and it's what supports my livelihood today. But there's a lot of guys in the market that are saying different things to me, which is intimidating, right? It doesn't matter how big you get. There's always that intimidation factor, because there's people that are doing better than you. And if they're telling these guys to do one thing and I'm telling them to do something else, am I giving them the best advice to make sure they make the most money? You know, I just have to trust my judgment that this is the way I did it. So anyone that aligns with me should, as in like aligns with me culturally, should really do it this way, because it's worked for me. But again, I don't know. There's so many people out there saying something different to me. And that obviously scares the shit out of me, because I am releasing stuff to the market and people are telling me, like, no one's explained communication like that. I'm like, oh, does that mean it's not the right way to do it? I don't know. It's worked for me, but how do I know, you know? So that's what I'm battling with at the moment. And it's slowly going away, because the guys in the group are telling me that they're getting a lot of value from it. And, you know, if I'm being completely honest, it's how I got to where I am today, is by just ignoring other people and ignoring the noise in the market and doing it the way that in my gut is telling me the way to do it. Ignoring what other people in the market say about how to run an agency, and just going like, actually, I don't want to sell on one call. I want to sell by sending a proposal, and that's worked well for me. But it does differ from a lot of the market. So that's something I'm battling with right now, guys. Let me know in the comments, what are you guys battling with? You know, it doesn't have to be about the course. It can be about anything. I just want to make this channel a little bit more open and transparent, because I made that video the other day about imposter syndrome. And even though it didn't get many views, the response was absolutely amazing. And I want to keep doing that, guys. So what are you guys struggling with? What are you guys battling with as running an agency or building an info product? Just let me know. I'm curious, genuinely curious to know how I can be of help. Maybe I can share some experiences that can help you guys out. So let me know, guys. I'm an open book. I'm probably one of the more transparent people on this platform when it comes to how I do it. So yeah, that's what I'm battling with at the moment, guys. Like I said, I'm super excited to share this, because I find that this is probably going to be more of a journal than anything else, but it might give you guys a bit of an insight, and there might be some stuff that helps you along the way that could really supercharge your growth. I don't know, whatever catchphrase you want to put there. But I'm doing this for myself as more than anyone else, because I found that this can be a pretty lonely space. So sometimes being able to share some thoughts and insights to the world is the best way to go about it. And I also want to give a big shout out to Zach Pascoe. I had a chat to him, and he was the one that planted the seed of the idea of this. And I'm a man of action. So I told him that I was going to make a video like this, and here we are. I'm announcing to the world that I'm going to be sharing the journey of how I get this course made, so that you can all learn from it, and maybe it might inspire you guys to do something similar, whether it's start an agency or start an info product or whatever. But yeah, I'm going to end on that, guys. Super excited. I'm just going to record as I think of my thoughts, and yeah, we'll just go from there. But let me know if you like the idea of this series, guys, too. What makes these videos work is you guys commenting and liking. It gives me the motivation to keep going. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.